So I loaded this film probably 3 or 4 months ago, and I'm 90% sure it's Portra 160, but I don't quite remember. There's a chance it might be Portra 400, but I'm mostly confident it's Portra 160. It's kind of annoying if I get that wrong, because it will mess everything up. I think it's 160. So just using an app on my phone to meter the scene, we're getting half a second in some spots, 1 second in other spots. So I've got this roll and then a whole other roll in my bag too, so I think I'm just going to do both and be pretty flexible with the amount of film I go through today. So I'm shooting this scene at f11, hopefully it's 160, and then we're going to do a first exposure at half a second and another one at 1 second. I'll show you the shot too. So I've got this little set of cascades, where are we? Just here, then all the way up in the back, which will be at the top left of the frame, is this little waterfall getting right down the back of the shot there. Hopefully that will be bright enough to still pop up in the frame. I haven't used this camera since last November, so hopefully I can remember what I'm doing. Okay, we're good there. Half a second, dark slide out. Switching it to 1 second, dark slide out again. Just going to do one more quick shot from this little area and then get back on the trail. So I've come a little bit closer to that bigger waterfall, and there's this really cool fern sort of growing over the stream, and we're getting some cool reflection in the stream below it too. So I'm going to meter again just to be sure, but it should be, yeah, half a second. So we'll just do another half a second shot and then get moving. So we're heading down to Henderson Falls today. If you're a long-term watcher of my stuff, you might recognize it, or recognize the name. We were last there probably this time last year, it would be now. I don't think we're too far away, it's not a huge walk, so almost there, but just wanted to stop in this little cascading section and start off the day with a few photos. So I'm gonna get back on the trail and head down to the waterfall. So it's something a bit different for me today. I've actually never shot waterfalls or anything rainforesty on medium format on film. As you saw earlier, I'm using my Bronica 645 medium format camera today. So a bit of a learning curve ahead whenever I shoot film, especially with this camera. I'm always kind of prepared to make mistakes, get things wrong. So see how we go. Got plenty of time to muck around. Just around the corner from the falls now, so I'm gonna show you guys the camera I'm using, and then we'll hopefully find a photo or two. So, Bronica ETRS medium format film camera. So I bought this probably 6 months ago now, secondhand, obviously. It's 3 times my age, I think. It's a 6x4.5 medium format film camera. Got a 75mm lens on there, and I'm using a waist level viewfinder, which means, whoops, this guy pops up. You look down, and it's your viewfinder sitting on top of the camera. Yeah, that's about it. I'm pretty sure I'm using Portra 160 film today. As I said earlier, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 95% sure. The 75mm lens is the only lens I own for this camera at the moment, so as you can see at this waterfall, it's a pretty narrow, intimate kind of space, so using a 75mm lens is going to be a bit of a challenge. Obviously this camera doesn't have any fancy weather sealing like modern cameras do, so I'm going to have to be a bit more careful than I normally would on my digital, but I'm just going to go for a wander with it now before I get the tripod or anything like that out, and see if I can find a shot or two. Alright, I've got a couple of ideas that I think will work. They're all a little bit of a different approach than what I would normally do if I was shooting digital somewhere like this, but we're going to see how we go. Okay, so first shot I want to try here, I'm looking straight up at the falls and sort of just cutting off like the top 2 little drops that the waterfall has. I'm going to just do, I think we might do what we did before, so we'll do half a second and 1 second and just see how they look. I'm okay with a nice bright photo on this one. So we're going to start with half a second. 1 second. So I'm choked up sort of super close on the waterfall here, and using the sort of different levels we're getting in the fall, almost like stairs leading us up to the top of the shot. So we're getting a bunch of cool layers, bunch of action in the water happening, and it really gives us some depth to the frame and also leads your eye straight up to the top where we're getting a bit of sky in the frame, which will hopefully give us a nice sort of bright golden feel to the photo. Okay everybody, that is going to be where I wrap up for the day, I think. I only ended up using a one roll, but to be honest, I don't feel like loading a new roll out here. Hopefully these photos turned out alright. You guys will know by now. I'm probably a month away from knowing, with having to send the film off, get it developed and wait for all that to happen. So hopefully I expose things right. Hopefully the film being loaded in the camera for a few months before I use it isn't too much of a problem, but I guess we'll see. So thanks for joining me on this one. I know it's been a little while since the last video, so if you're new or if you just jumped on, thank you for being here. I've got to get over this log to get the camera.